You know what's funny? You set 3 alarms this morning. You were still late. Your ancient ancestor woke up whenever they felt like it, ate whatever they wanted, hung out with friends all day, made music, made art, took a long nap in the afternoon sun, and called it Tuesday. No boss, no deadlines, no emails, no passive-aggressive "we need to talk" meeting at 9 a.m. No performance reviews, no Sunday anxiety about Monday morning. And here's the part that will actually make you angry. They were healthier than you, stronger than you, and based on every piece of evidence we have, significantly happier than you. So what exactly did ancient humans do all day? Because the answer is not what schools taught you. It is not constant danger. It is not desperate survival. It is not running from predators every 5 minutes. It is something way more embarrassing for modern humans to hear. They were just living, freely, casually, without guilt, and we somehow convinced ourselves that was not enough. Let's talk numbers first, because this is where it gets genuinely insulting. Researchers studied the Hadza people in Tanzania, one of the last remaining groups on Earth still living in a way that closely mirrors ancient human life. Scientists followed them around and tracked literally every hour of their day. The result? About 15 to 17 hours of actual work per week, total. You probably hit that number by Wednesday morning and still have 2 more days to go. The rest of the time was completely free. No guilt about it. No productivity apps. No motivational posters on the cave wall telling them to wake up at 4 a.m. and grind harder. And this was not just one study in one place. Researchers found the same pattern in Paraguay with the Ache people, in Australia with the Martu, in multiple communities across Africa, different continents, different climates, different languages. Same exact answer every single time. About 15 to 20 hours per week on survival. Everything else was theirs. Ancient humans were basically permanently retired. From birth. Okay, but what were they actually doing with all that free time? Because when archaeologists started digging up ancient human sites, they expected to find tools, weapons, evidence of constant struggle and survival. Instead, they kept finding things that had absolutely no survival value whatsoever. Like a 40,000-year-old flute discovered in Germany, carved carefully from a vulture bone, with 5 perfectly spaced finger holes cut into it. Whoever made this did not accidentally stumble into music. They understood pitch. They understood sound. They practiced. They performed for other people. They entertained. Then in South Africa, researchers found 100,000-year-old shell beads. Tiny holes drilled through seashells, clearly designed to be strung together as jewelry. The nearest coastline was 20 kilometers away. Think about that. Someone walked 40 kilometers round trip just to collect specific shells. Then came home and spent hours carefully drilling precise holes through each one using stone tools. Not for food. Not for weapons. Not for shelter. Just to look good. And Chauvet Cave in southern France, discovered in 1994, contains paintings from 30,000 years ago, so detailed and sophisticated that modern art professors use them in their courses. Horses rendered with shading. Lions drawn with perspective and movement. Someone spent days deep inside a dark cave by firelight creating art that would not be seen again for 30,000 years. These were not desperate people barely surviving. These were people with enough free time to develop genuine hobbies, personal style, musical talent, and artistic skill. They were doing on a Tuesday what you schedule as a vacation. Let's actually walk through what a full day looked like. Because nobody really breaks this down. Dawn arrives. The fire from the night before is still burning low. Someone adds more wood. People wake up gradually, no alarm, no rush. Leftover meat or fruit from yesterday gets shared around. Breakfast is completely social. People talk, laugh, make plans loosely for the day. Not because they have a schedule, just because that is what humans naturally do together. Mid-morning, a small group might head out to hunt or gather plants. If the hunt 3 days ago was successful and food is still available, nobody has to go anywhere today. Some people stay in camp and work on tools, sharpening a spear point, weaving a basket, softening an animal hide. This is not unpleasant work. There is no clock running, no deadline. You do it because skill earns respect and making things well feels good. When hunting does happen, forget everything movies showed you. Humans are persistence hunters. We do not sprint after prey. We track animals at a steady jog for hours until they overheat and physically collapse from exhaustion. We can do this because humans sweat to cool down while running. Most mammals cannot do this efficiently, so we simply outlast them. The deer does not lose to our strength. It loses to our endurance, which is honestly a bit embarrassing for the deer. The whole hunt takes maybe 4 to 6 hours including travel time. The animal is brought back. Everyone eats together. And by early afternoon, the productive part of the day is completely finished. What comes next is the part modern people genuinely struggle to understand. Nothing and everything. People rest in the shade. They sit together and talk for hours. They play with children. They groom each other, which sounds strange but is actually one of the most powerful bonding behaviors in primates. They make jewelry. They carve decorative patterns into bones for no practical reason. They nap without scheduling it. Anthropologists documented this carefully. Ancient style communities spent roughly 6 hours per day in pure social time. Not working, not sleeping, just being together with other humans, talking, laughing, arguing, joking. And this was not laziness. This was the most important thing they could do. In a world with no written contracts, no police, no banks, your relationships were literally your survival insurance. If people genuinely liked you and trusted you, they shared food when your hunt failed. If they did not, you were on your own. So investing 6 hours a day into human connection was not a waste of time. It was the smartest possible use of time. Then the sun goes down and the fire gets bigger. And this is where it gets remarkable. Researchers who recorded conversations in ancient-style communities noticed something consistent. During daylight hours, conversations were practical. Where did you see animal tracks? Which plants are ripening where? Who is not pulling their weight and needs to be talked to? But after dark, around the fire, everything changed. 81% of nighttime conversations switched entirely to stories, creation myths, ancestor legends, impossible adventures, jokes that made everyone fall over laughing, gossip about people in other groups, imaginary scenarios, what ifs. Researchers believe this is actually where human culture originated. Not in cities. Not in civilizations. Around small fires at night when stomachs were full and people felt safe enough to think about things beyond tomorrow. Religion, mythology, humor, philosophy, all of it born in the dark, around a fire at night, with nothing else to do. And then they slept, but not the way you do. Before artificial light changed everything, humans naturally slept in 2 separate phases. About 4 hours of deep sleep. Then a quiet wakeful period of 1 to 2 hours in total darkness. Then another 4 hours of sleep. That 2 a.m. wake up you experience and call insomnia? That is your ancient brain doing exactly what it evolved to do. You are not broken. Your body is just older than electricity. Then about 10,000 years ago, one decision changed everything. Not a war. Not a disaster. A seed. Someone in the Middle East planted a crop instead of moving to find food. And it worked. More food meant more people. More people needed more food. More food meant more farming. The cycle locked in and there was no way back because now too many people existed to survive any other way. Farming required dramatically more labor. Plowing, planting, weeding, watering, harvesting, storing, guarding crops from animals and other groups. And the physical evidence is clear. Early farmers were shorter than hunter-gatherers, had worse teeth, more spinal damage, more nutritional deficiencies, and died younger. Progress made life harder. And population growth made sure nobody could choose differently. Eventually came specialists, then cities, then currency, then employment. The idea that your time fundamentally belongs to someone else in exchange for the resources you need to survive. The trap assembled itself so gradually that nobody noticed it closing. Here is what actually gets me about all of this. Your ancestors woke up every single morning already free. Already enough. Nothing to prove to anyone. Nowhere they were required to be. You wake up already behind. Already late. Already owing something to someone before the day has even started. They made art because they had time and felt like it. You plan to make art someday. After things slow down. After the project ends. After retirement maybe. They did not earn rest by being productive first. Rest was simply where every day began. Somewhere in the last 10,000 years we built a story that being constantly busy means being valuable. That if you are not producing something measurable, you are wasting your existence. Your ancestors never believed that story. They had never heard it. They were sitting by the fire, telling jokes, playing music, making things beautiful for no reason, and living exactly the life you are spending your entire career trying to eventually afford. They were already there. And the wildest part? So could you have been? You just got here 10,000 years too late. If this made you want to quit everything and go live in the woods, don't worry. That feeling is completely ancient. Like and subscribe so I can keep making these while pretending I'm not also fully stuck in the system.